Yo, what's good? What's good? Coffee and Sports in the Morning, aka Key, aka Freddie, aka everybody. We here with another edition of Coffee and Sports in the Morning, man. Make sure y'all drop that like and drop that share for us, man. So here we got my guy, we got two outstanding analysis guys up in the building. I'm happy to be a part of the a brotherhood with them, and I'm happy they're a part of the Empire Sports Network. We got the resident Laker fan, Maurice. How you doing this morning? How you doing?
Hey, what's good? I'm blessed.
All right. Got you. So we got the new addition, aka, like I said, I got a cousin named Desmond. Probably my first cousin. I don't know that, but we're not gonna speak of that. We got the Denver Nugget fan, Nikola Jokic. May win his third MVP. Denver Nuggets, Denver Broncos got some stuff to deal with over there, but AKA we got Desmond in the building, the new addition. How you doing, man?
I'm blessed. How you guys doing? It's a pleasure. It's Monday, man. It's good. It's good in Denver.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it, man. So first topic, we're gonna get right into the nitty-gritty, man. We had a national title, performance out of the agents for the LSU Lady Tigers. Congratulate them for winning the national title. A lot of people, you tell me I would have woke up today and looked at today as, hey, LSU was winning the national championship today. I wouldn't believe it. South Carolina been dominant for a couple of years straight. Nobody seemed to been on a level. Iowa has probably has the best player in basketball. Has the best player in college. Has the best player in college at this point. But outside of her, she got a bunch of role players on outside of her. But for her to carry that team straight to a national title, that's really something special. But again, congratulations to the Lady Tigers. And we're gonna touch up on this game. So LSU came in this game. I mean, you got to give credit to Iowa, man, for how they game plan for Aaliyah Boston. If you watched South Carolina all year long, no, South Carolina hasn't saw that type of defense all year long. And Coach Lisa Bluter, got to give her credit. She played the paint. They weren't gonna keep them off the boards. They already knew that. You weren't gonna keep 6'6" Aaliyah Boston and 6'7" Aaliyah Cardoso off the boards. But when you can stop them you can't stop them at the 3-point line. South Carolina hasn't shot well all year from the three, and I don't understand how teams didn't notice that. But Iowa was the only team that noticed that. They packed the paint. They made 3 more threes than they did, which is 7. South Carolina only made 4. So Lisa Bluter knew they couldn't shoot from the 3-point line. And Caitlin Clark, I think, like I said the other day, we was doing this. I think South Carolina kind of underestimated Caitlin Clark's ability to be a driver, to be a playmaker. They played a one-on-one, and she carved them up inside of the paint and kind of exposed their kind of one-on-one defense instead of taking the ball away from her hands. Now, LSU was a different story. They had everything. They had shooting. They had better guard play. They had better bigs that can penetrate, also put the ball on the floor, also put the mid-range, shoot the mid-range. Jasmine Carson, I had to go literally go give me a Dr. Pepper yesterday for how hot she was. She was hot as a hot pocket out there in the second quarter. She had a phenomenal game. Alexis Morris had 19 in the second half. Lit it up with 19 in the second half. Angel Resse is just going to be Angel Resse. The guard play was so much better than South Carolina was. And even if South Carolina got past probably Iowa, you can't tell me LSU would have looked at that film and looked at what the success that Iowa had to beat South Carolina. So, Mo, you was in the stream all day yesterday looking at this game. Give me your thoughts on this game.
I just thought that LSU had better athletes than South Carolina, better athletes than Iowa, and they didn't stop Caitlin Clark, but they challenged her. They wore her down. She hadn't seen that kind of physicality the whole tournament. They were getting up in her. They were challenging her handle. And they were going at her on the other end. She wasn't used to that. And I really thought you could see the frustration from her and her teammates. There was a point in the game where they just looked shell-shocked. And I think I said that to you, Coach, in the moment. They were they didn't know what to do. And when she went to the bench, they didn't know what to do. They knew they were going to be in trouble, and they weren't going to be able to make up that difference because nobody else on that team can create other than her.
Dez, give me your thoughts, Dez. What you got?
Man, you both hit it on the nose. With LSU, just their team. 2 years ago, they weren't that good of a team, you know. And now you look 2 years later with the coach that they have. And she came from Baylor with that winning tradition. And now they got a national title. But like Mo touched on, though, if you look at the box score, you look at the game, LSU starters, all of them were almost in double figures, where Iowa, you just have the center and Cece. That was it, pretty much it. That was your offense. And like you said, that defense, that physicality, especially with Reese in the paint, and then 22 from Carson just off the bench, that really sparked LSU going with that physicality, that defense. They shot 54% from the field, and they shot 10 threes. And when you can't contest the three with Iowa's defense, it's going to be hard to win some championship games. But it was a definitely good run with Iowa, though, for sure.
Yeah, LSU had 9 new players on the team. She brought 9 new players on the team. Alexis Morris, by the way, like what Dez was saying at Baylor, she kicked off Alexis Morris off the team, actually. She kicked her off the team, actually. And she came back, and Alexis Morris learned from that. She went to A&M, then she came back. Alexis Morris got 1 more year of eligibility if she wants to come back. She is a senior, but if she wants to come back, she's allowed to come back. Now, I believe it's an opportunity you see LSU back again. You still got Angel Resse for another 2 years. You got Flau'jae Johnson that can come back. She's just a freshman. And like I say, Alexis Morris, she can come back if she actually wants to. So if they want to run it back and be, you can see this team in the same spot. Caitlin Clark got another year eligibility. You might well see these two teams back playing each other again. But again, they had not to mention they had 9 players. That's hard. That's a lot of chemistry that you got to work on during the summer. You can tell they did work that out during the summer. A lot of people will say, "Oh, LSU ain't play nobody. They played a weak schedule." Well, hey, it's not hard. It's not easy to win the NCAA tournament, especially beating Iowa and beating have to go through play South Carolina and get beat by them and then beat Iowa in the national championship. SEC was pretty tough. You had Tennessee, who was really good in the SEC. But again, man, like I say, man, Caitlin Clark, like I said, she did all she could. She did all they could. Her and Monica Sonato was in foul trouble. Outside of Caitlin Clark, Maurice said in the chat that do they need to get the ball out of her hands? Can't get the ball out of Caitlin Clark's hands because who else you got that you can rely on to dissect the defense? Now, the best thing you can do is try to run off some off-ball screens and stuff like that. But other than that, you have nobody else that can create a shot on their own. You have nobody else. You see that when you went up out of the game. When she went up out of the game, everybody else is just basically shooters. And the way LSU one-on-one defense was, the way they were pressuring the ball and getting physical with Caitlin Clark, could nobody else outside of Caitlin Clark and Monica Sonato probably do something? LSU played it straight up. They played same defense that South Carolina actually played, but they were more physical. That was the difference. They were actually more physical than South Carolina actually was with Caitlin Clark. So You just got to give them. You just got to give them credit. They were the better team, by far the better team, and I knew LSU was going to be much more than a problem than South Carolina probably would have been. South Carolina probably would have been. So like I say, man, shout out to Freddie. Gene said Caitlin Clark can't go pro. Yeah, I know she's not eligible. She's got another year. She has another year. They're not eligible to come out. They got to play their whole senior.
Right.
They got to play all the years. They got to play all 4 years for them to come out. So he said, man, I know Clark lost, but she good, man. That girl good, and she did all she could.
Oh, she balled out. She played well,
and she hit some tough shots too. She hit some tough shots in that game, even when they play some very good defense on her. So again, man, shout out to everybody for on the coffee and sports edition. So the next topic we're gonna go to, I'm gonna start with Maurice. So I'm gonna start with Dez on this one. Was Angel Resse classless for her actions versus against Caitlin Clark?
Oh man, I was thinking about this yesterday once the game ended, and in the post-game remarks from both players. My personal opinion, I think it's okay, and the reason why, because Caitlin Clark did the same thing in the semifinals, and did the "You Can't See Me," and I guess with that excitement, you win a national championship. A lot of people don't understand the emotion that goes through the hard work, the dedication, the grind, and then you finally win. And like Reese said, I may not fit the mold, but that's just me. This is for me and others that are like me that can't speak up with a voice, So for her, I feel like it's commendable. I just feel like you just have to be humble at the moment, though, because you could be in the same predicament next year and someone else do that to you, or even worse. But I just feel that the emotion and going through the grind of the season and the tournament, because the tournament does take a toll, the travel and everything else like that. And then you win a national championship. And both of the women put a bunch of numbers up. I mean, it's history making because Caitlin Clark, the most 3-pointers in the NCAA tournament for men's and women's and points. And then you have Reese with the 34th double-double, which is the most, So that's just history in the making and women empowerment right there for being a voice. So I definitely think that Reese just has to calm it down. But for that national championship and on the emotion, I feel like it's commendable because the grind of that, you go through that. You have to be in their shoes to kind of see just that emotion,
Yeah, Maurice, what you think about it? What you think about that?
It wasn't right in the other player's face. It was kind of a pass by. You could see it wasn't right in her face. I just saw the backlash from how they attacked Angel Resse. Not, so many of the fans, social media. People have to remember, these are 19, 18, 19, 20-year-old women who are still young, still emotional. You're playing basketball at the highest heights. You just won a national title. It was very competitive. Coming in what Caitlin Clark brought. And I think they got amped up for her. And I'm sure she was amped up for them. Her trolling, you can say she could have been more humble. No disagreement in that. But I think the national backlash, I think that's overkill.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not mad at it at all. I mean, that's just caught up in the moment. And you got to think about this team won. This is their first ever national title. Their first ever national title that they ever won. I mean, like Dad said, they won the team that only won 9 games before Monken got there. They only won 9 games. For them to have an improved season the next year and then come back to win a national title, I think it was just a moment. And, I just think at the end of the day, I think the players respect each other at the end of the day. I think they respect the hell out of each other at the end of the day. So when you have a national title and when you caught up in the moment, you're going to have some physicality. You're going to go back and forth. Just like most of the people say, the game was kind of officiated, not properly, pretty much. I mean, you had Angel Resse got beat up on a play by Monica Sonato. You had Sonato got hit, come back. She comes back, get her with a bow, kind of in the chest area. I didn't think it was nothing that serious. Not nothing that serious to be looking at or just to throw up out of the game. I'm glad the ref made the right call. In that national championship, we want to kind of let them ball out and let them play a little bit. It's going to be physical. You're going to have some of those moments. But like I say, this is a clear cut. LSU was by far, the better team. They just basically came out and just spanked them in that second quarter. And no, Jasmine Carson came out. She got put out of the rotation for Kateri Poole, basically. She didn't have much confidence in her shot. She didn't score. I don't think she scored the last 3 games coming into the Final Four.
Exactly.
Coming into the Final Four, she was pulled early in the Final Four, but basically not shooting the basketball. Basically, she was pulled early in the game. So other than that, this was a straight beat down. I didn't pick the game, but I knew LSU had a far better chance to win this game. With the players that they do got, with the athletes, like Marie said, with the guards that they have. And, Iowa just was outmatched at the guard position. In every position on the floor, Iowa was outmatched. They were outmatched, out-athlete every position on the floor.
I thought Alexis Williams was the best player in the second half.
Yeah,
the best player in the game in the second half. She controlled pace, and she got her spots whenever she wanted. She was that mid-range, it was water. It was automatic. She was clearly the best player on the floor in the second half, controlled the pace of the game, got her teammates involved. Like she was amazing the second half. I mean, as a team, the team effort they put forth, you got to give LSU all the credit in the world. But I just thought she really stood out in the second half.
She was the guard that was guarding Caitlin Clark and took the challenge most of the game, too. She ball pressured Caitlin Clark to death and frustrated Caitlin Clark to death. Even when Caitlin Clark made that step back 3-pointer, that was hell of a defense, man. That's just a hell of a shot. That girl got there and made. And you get that with a great player, man. So,
right.
Dez, you got anything to touch on before we move on to the next topic?
I just want to give credit to Iowa too, because like you said, you guys both said it's a great team. I mean, they knocked out my CU Buffs. And that's that was first, and I was like, man, come on. But Caitlin Clark, she's a beast. Their center, Sonano, great senior season. And don't forget, I mean, we can't forget Iowa played with the same starting 5 for 93 games. So in Caitlin Clark's post-game remarks, she was like, I played 93 games with these starting 5. This group, I'm going to cherish it, but. Like you guys said, it won't be surprising if we have another rematch, next year. I just feel like Iowa just has to get more physical. And LSU, I mean, they're just gonna be ramping up, man. They're gonna be ramping up. So, I mean, women's basketball is definitely on the map, and I'm definitely proud of it, man. Definitely proud of it.
And we're gonna have to acknowledge Coach Mulkey. This is her 4th national title, and she has 2 as a player. And I don't think people sleep on the fact that she took over a team that only won 9 games. This is season 2, and they're national champions. She's right behind people like Pat Summitt and Gino Amiara. I'm killing his name.
I get that name
wrong. I kill his name too, but and I think a lot of people figured also she's the first woman to win national titles at multiple schools. So I mean, she's just a great coach, and you have to give her due.
Yep. I mean, you seen her all postseason, all tournament. If a player not playing right, she's not gonna hesitate to snatch her right out. In the Final Four game, I'm telling you, when they played against Virginia Tech, when they were down, they were getting out hustled at the beginning of the game. She sent Angel Resse a message. Angel Resse wasn't boxing out. She was getting out hustled. She wasn't fighting for loose balls. All the 50-50 balls was going Virginia Tech way, and she snatched her right up out of the game. She sent her a message, snatched her right up out of the game. Jasmine Carson, same thing was done to Jasmine Carson. I don't believe Jasmine Carson saw the floor after that. If she saw the floor, she didn't see it for a long time. And I like the way she coached, like the way she hold the players accountable. And you don't see many coaches pretty much do that, but you got to send people a message when they're not going out there and battle for a long time in that game. Until the second half, Virginia Tech had LSU right where they wanted them. When she took Angel Resse up out of the game and sent her a message, Angel Resse came right back in, and she played hard from here on out. I mean, that's what Maurice was talking about, how Kim Mulkey was coaching, man. So got to give credit to that. Sometimes when you show these players, hey, that they not playing hard, you take them out, you send them a message. Hey, they come back in, they make sure that don't happen again, and that was the message that was actually sent. So give credit to LSU. They was the better team. We know they didn't face South Carolina, but again, got to give credit for Iowa. This was a great run by Iowa. You know, Indiana was probably one of the best teams all year long. They got knocked out early by Miami. Miami had a great run. Lady Hurricanes had a great run. They weren't supposed to be this going to the league gate or nothing like that, but they had a great run. So there's several teams that had a great run. But so we're gonna switch it and flip it to the men's side. Cinderella story of the tournament. San Diego State, UConn. We don't expect UConn, they was projected to be probably right in the Elite Eight range area, borderline Final Four, but San Diego State coming out in the Mountain West, nobody thought they would be in the Natty. But we got UConn tonight and San Diego State. I wouldn't be surprised if it be kind of a massacre, but I'm not going to go that route. I believe UConn will win this game, but I'm not going to be surprised if the game be closer because San Diego State is very good defensively. They're very well coached defensively. They know how to be physical, but I think UConn is going to be a little bit too much with Sunoco. That dude is hard to deal with in the paint. Sunoco is hard to deal with in the paint. They got a lot of height. They got a lot of length. Caravan can shoot. Caravan can shoot the lights out. Joey Calcaterra can shoot the lights out. Jordan Hawkins can pretty much do it all. He's going to be probably a first-round pick coming up in this draft. And Coach Hurley did a phenomenal job with this program. So, Maurice, give me your thoughts upon this championship national title game tonight.
If San Diego State can't slow down Sunoco, it won't be a contest. This, like you said, it could be over really fast. But I will say this: officiating may decide this in some ways because if they let them play, I think that bodes well for San Diego State with their athletes and how they play physically. You mentioned it yourself. They're a very good defensive team. They switch out. Everybody, all their wings have great lateral quickness. So I think that if it's a physical game, it's going to be a very good game, and it bodes well for San Diego State.
Yeah. This.
Oh, man, this is definitely a game tonight. It's definitely going to be a game. Mo, what you touched on, though, if they don't slow down Sunoco, it's going to be lights out. I mean, UConn has two big bigs. I forgot the other guy's name, but, I mean, that guy is big. When they played Miami, you just see when the center of Miami tried to take it up, I mean, nothing was going in. You know, they were getting frustrated. And in San Diego State, they definitely have defensive pressure. I just feel like they won't have enough in the tank. I'm not trying to write out San Diego State already, but it's a Cinderella story. I mean, the last 5 games they've been winning by less than 13 points. So, you know, and with UConn's defense in the guard, I mean, that guard is just amazing. The guy was sick actually, and was on IVs every other hour. Before he played Miami, and Miami's really physical too. UConn, I feel, with Sunoco, and the guy, I mean, he scored 21 and 10, 9 from 11 from the field against Miami. I forgot the other guy's big name's name, but I mean, he was definitely effective in the game against Miami. So they can't slow down the bigs, and definitely the guard as well. There's definitely going to be a run in the gym, in my opinion.
Another thing is, UConn kills you on the boards. They get so many second chance points. If you can't at least be even with them or close to them on the boards, that's another way that UConn's going to hurt San Diego State with their ability to dominate the boards on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I think, like I say, again, if they can't stop Sunoco, although that 7-foot big that comes in, it may be a massacre. It may turn into something ugly, unwatchable pretty much. I think UConn is a better team overall, but San Diego have the tendencies to slow the game down and make it a tough, rugged, physical ball game. And if they do that, they can turn it. They can turn this game. They can probably turn this game upside down if they can find a way to slow the game down. So if San Diego State can slow the game down, they have a big old opportunity to win. But what's going to win UConn this game is second chance opportunities. I just don't think San Diego State is big enough to stop the Sunoco and the other guy that comes in. I don't think they're big enough. But not only the centers are big and tall. The perimeter guys, they got size too. I mean, you got Newton, who's about 6'5", a 6'5" guard. So you got a lot of length. And San Diego State don't score the ball in a high rate. They don't score the ball in a high rate. They struggle at times in the half court situations. Now they do got a guard, Lamont Butler, who's on an all defensive team, all Mountain West defensive squad. He is a very good defender as well. So look for him guarding Newton and putting some pressure on Newton and getting up into Newton for a little bit. But I think UConn is just like is the better squad. They may be the better squad in this game, and it's going to be hard to keep Sunoco them off of the boards if you're San Diego State. So any last thoughts upon this game?
I'll just say this: if it's a close game,
yeah,
then that means that San Diego State, somebody on that team has had one of those quarters or halves like Carson had last night.
Yeah,
it's going to take somebody that's not naturally a scorer to maybe come up with 16 or 20 points they normally would. That's the kind of effort they're going to need from somebody in San Diego State because, like you said, they're not really a high-scoring team.
Yeah. This.
So I'm here. I like you said, Mo and Coach. Like you said, if San Diego State can get somebody to slow UConn down, it can definitely be effective. Matt Bradley for San Diego State is averaging like 12 and almost 13 points a game. And so, I mean, San Diego State only has like two guys really that can really generate that type of offense. So if San Diego State can slow down the offense for UConn and add that offensive pressure, it'll be a game. But like I said, UConn with their bigs and that guard, they have the complete package. And I feel like with those bigs, I mean, those bigs are taller than me. I'm only 5'4". Those guys look like 6 foot. So, you know, they're 6'8" and 7 feet. So, you know, I just feel like if San Diego State has the physicality, then and doesn't, it can match the size and the energy, then it can definitely be a game. But if UConn did what they did to Miami, and by that second quarter in Miami, where you just see Miami get frustrated with themselves, that's when UConn will definitely get a dub. And I mean, they've been to the NCAA tournament, I think, 4 or 5 times. They've really been there, not a regular, but frequently in the past year. So it'd be nice to see them win. But I'm definitely rooting for San Diego State. I just want somebody different, you know. Cinderella story, it would be nice, but I mean, UConn. I mean, they're 7-point favorite right now, 7 underdog favorite right now in the bet. So I feel like I think UConn will win it for sure.
Yeah, I got a question that I'm gonna add into both of you, but again, I feel like Miami, they play too much individual basketball. You can't beat a lot of teams like that. I mean, you got 3 legit guys that can put the ball on the floor and score, but for Miami, it was definitely no ball movement. And their coach, Larry Nager, even said it at halftime, we wasn't moving the ball. So that's one of those when I call doing your thing basketball. Isaiah Warren gets the ball, he's not giving it up. They're going straight ISO. They're trying to find a basket. He got away against my Longhorns, and that hurt me to my heart. But he got away against my Longhorns because we had to go on a goddamn scoring drought. It hurt it. But Jordan Miller, he gets the ball, he's not penetrating, he's penetrating, he's not looking for nobody, and everybody else just standing around. So other than that, you can't beat not a good defensive team like UConn. You're not gonna win like that. So they won. They got by. They got to the Final Four with that. It worked for them, but it didn't work against UConn. So it's good to have dynamic guys that can put the ball on the floor. And matter of fact, 3 of them. But again, Nigel Pack was off. Nigel Pack did not have a good game. He was off that night, and that's another key to them. Nigel Pack is a big key. He's a sophomore. He's gonna. I'm assuming he's gonna be back. But you ain't winning a title playing individual basketball. I don't care how many players you got. You're not winning a championship playing individual basketball. So this is a question that I'm gonna throw at y'all. What team in y'all opinion that you guys had before the NCAA tournament started, not during the regular season, but when this tournament was started, give me a disappointing team in you guys' bracket that you thought they were going to make the Final Four, but did not make the Final Four or the Elite Eight?
I don't know if it's disappointing. It's disappointing in the bigger picture, but I had UCLA making the Final Four. I did.
Okay.
But in some ways, you could say they might have overachieved, and they lost a great game. So there's no shame in losing that way.
Yep.
Yeah, UCLA is a good team, a really good team. For me, I'm from Colorado, but Alabama, man, that was kind of disappointing in my bracket because everybody was like, "Oh, they got the number one team. They got the team. They got everybody. Great guards, great everything," and they just got smoked. Like it was like, come on, like I really thought that Alabama at least make it to the Final Four or the Elite Eight. And then when Kansas got beat, that's when I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a different tournament because when you have two powerhouses that analysts been talking about all year, and teams, and you see the cohesion with teams, and they just smoking teams in the regular season. But like what you guys said, when it comes to the postseason, it's totally different. When these tournaments, I mean, you're going to a different state for the first round, the second round, the third round, and it takes a toll. And you can't get too complacent. Like you said with Miami, they were just dribble, one-man show. You can't do that. You need to move the ball. And I think that's what San Diego State needs to do tonight. They need to move the ball, pick and roll, try to get Sudoku in foul trouble. I mean, try to do something. Alabama was disappointing me because, I mean, they were just smoking teams. They were quick, fast, physical. But, I mean, next year I think they can definitely do it.
That's the beauty of the tournament, though. It's a one-off. If Alabama had played them, say, in a 5-game series, we probably wouldn't, they'd still be playing. But that's the beauty of the tournament. On a given night, if you're not playing your A game and another team comes in, you can get taken out. That's what makes the tournament amazing.
Yep.
You're right.
So I'm not gonna get into Purdue because when the season started, Purdue is always this type of team. That's not my most disappointed team, even though they are disappointing. They always have a good enough team that can make it to the Final Four, but never good enough to make it at that route. So, and they had a busload of talent on the team. I mean, you had a top 5 pick in Jaden Ivey, and you had the best player in the country, Zach Edey. You still couldn't make it to a Final Four. And with Zach Edey alone, you couldn't make it. You didn't even snip. You didn't get. You lost in the first. You lost in the first round. So I'm not going to get into Purdue. They're always going to be good in the regular season and in the tournament, in the Big Ten tournament, but never good enough to even make it. Even Pat, never good enough to make it to a Final Four. You know what? I know this guy personally too. And you know what hurt me? Y'all know what hurt me to my heart that I thought that really had a good chance to make it to the Elite Eight if they beat it. FAU. I thought Memphis had a good chance to make it to an Elite Eight. I was really hot on Memphis going into the tournament. They were hot. They come off a win against Houston and Marcus Sasser with Kendrick Davis. Turned that ball over, kind of hurt. And I almost cried because I knew him personally, and he played. And he was very good in AAU ball. And hate to see it go down like that. But even if Purdue would end up winning their game, I thought Memphis was going to definitely smoke them after if they would have won their game. But unfortunately, they lost a close game to FAU. That turnover definitely hurt it. That turnover definitely hurt it on moving the ball up the court. That was kind of really disappointing for me. In Kansas, they fell apart. When Bill Self left, they fell apart. They fell apart when Bill Self kind of left. They lost 2 out of the last 3 weeks to my Longhorns. But I think having Bill Self out really kind of hurted Kansas. They really kind of hurted them. And Arkansas was a pretty good squad, man. Their record didn't indicate. They were a pretty good team. They were a good matchup for Kansas. They were a vulnerable matchup, and Kansas coming off a national championship year, one of the best players in the country, and Jalen Wilson. That guy can pretty much put the ball in the basket against anyone. But again, man, like I say, I had to go with Memphis, man, because I thought Memphis could really do some damage and at least get to the League 8. I was really high on them, and that goddamn loss against FAU kind of hurt it. That loss kind of hurt it against FAU. So a dark horse. How about a dark horse? How about a dark horse that you guys had that y'all thought they could? How about a dark horse?
I don't know if Princeton's a dark horse, but I had Princeton. I thought Princeton had a shot to get in Princeton is one of those teams or one of those schools for as long as I've been watching, they just beat you with their system.
Yep.
They're not the most athletic, but they're the most fundamentally sound. And they make you play their pace and they beat you with their system.
Yep.
I have to agree with Mo on that one, saying because I mean their system just fit, and they were going to definitely be a Cinderella story for sure. But it would have been nice to see a different team, make it. So I definitely go with Mo on that one.
Definitely. Mine was Indiana before they got smoked versus for Miami. Before they got smoked versus Miami. They were outplayed in every fashion of the basketball game in that game, and it was really hard watching Indiana play that game the way Miami Hurricanes dominate them. So, we're gonna move on to the NBA, and I don't got time. I believe this was a setup by Key and Freddie because we always got to talk about. We always got to talk about. We gotta talk about the Lakers because they in a play-in tournament. We gotta talk about the Lakers, but I do respect the Lakers. I don't like them, but I do respect. I will admit when they're doing great and when they're winning games and stuff like that. So again, yes, they beat my Houston Rockets last night. Full credit for them. You play what's on your schedule. You can't control that. But again, man, like I say, NBA season is almost over. Do y'all give me y'all playing teams? Who do you, in your opinion? Your playing teams for both East and Western Conference. Maurice, start with you. Who you think will make the play-in tournament? Your 4 playing teams for both sides.
I thought Dallas was going to make it, but it looks like Dallas is thrown in the towel. They seem like a team that's just collapsed. They've given up. That's what it looks like. There's a disconnect between not just the 2 best players, but the 2 best players and the coach and probably the front office. So I'm disappointed in Dallas. I mean, it's not over yet, but it doesn't look like they're trending in the right direction. I think the Pelicans are get in, even though they haven't played their best basketball. I think the Pelicans are going to get in. It's funny because there was a time when we were saying, well, the Lakers might make the play in, and now we're not talking like that, right? Now people are saying like, well, the Lakers could get the 5th seed. That's crazy that they have a shot to do that. And I don't know if that's credit to them, which they have played well of late, or just how weak the back end of the West is. There's 4 teams with 38 losses. That's crazy.
Yep. It's really crazy.
In the East, I'm not sure about the East in terms of the play-in. I haven't been following the back end of the East as much as the West. So I'm not really sure about the East.
Okay.
But I will say an interesting matchup that I want to see. I do want to see the Sixers. They're going to be the 3 seed. I'm interested in seeing the Sixers play against the Nets. I think the Sixers, of course, most of us are going to say the Sixers should win that series. But I think the Nets are coming into the playoffs with house money. They have nothing to lose.
Yep. So I got to propose to you. I got a question. I'm assuming the bottom half of the East. I'm gonna just let me know if it's a lock or you still think they can get in. So right now, you're playing tournament teams right now. You got Miami in 7th. There are 2 games up over the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks, they my disappointed team this year. I can't believe they're 39-39, adding a 20-point per game score and a great defensive player in Murray, and you still this bad. And you gave your head coach so much crap. You even playing worse without him. Even now that you're still playing worse. You're still playing the same type of basketball that you did fire him. So was Nate McMillan was a problem? Was he really the problem before you fired him? It don't look too much better that you got Quinn Snyder. It don't look too much better now when you hire Quinn Snyder. So other than that, you got them 39-39. You got them in 8. You got the Raptors 39-39. I think they may blow that team up in the offseason. You got Chicago Bulls, who's been on a good run, 38. You got 38-40. Do you think that hold up? The next team, Washington is eliminated. So this look like this is gonna hold. This look like it's gonna hold up.
Okay.
But give me a play-in team. Do you think that can get one of these top 6 seeds a problem in a series? Not saying they're going to win the series, but they has a possibility to extend a series.
Miami.
Okay, I agree.
Gotcha. Miami. They've had a disappointing season, but they've also had a lot of injuries. But put Miami into the postseason and don't sleep on Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy Butler is like one of the most we know he's a star, and there's more talented players than Jimmy Butler, but there's not a lot of players that I would bet on in a big game over Jimmy Buckets. So I would say Miami can extend the series.
Man, I agree with you on that. I've been raving about Miami. I'm hoping they get the 6th seed because I think they can present Philadelphia a problem. Really, I think that team is a different team in the playoffs. And nobody knows how good Jimmy Bucket's turning. He turns into a superhero in the playoffs. So, Des, give me your team. Hold on, Freddie.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead, Des.
Hey, so Lamo, with those teams, it's locked in the East for sure.
Okay.
It's definitely locked in with the East. I definitely want to see Philly and the 76ers and the Nets because the fact with that matchup coming up, I mean, you got Ben Simmons that used to play for the 76ers.
Oh,
now he's with the Nets, So, I mean, it's just one of those situations where the East is pretty locked up. In the West, I mean, Dallas is a disappointment. Like most said, it is a disappointment. They're 1.5 games back of OKC. OKC got beat by Phoenix yesterday, 128-108, with Kevin Durant scoring 35 points. So, in the East, it's pretty locked up. I definitely want to see the West is kind of interesting because the Lakers. I mean, I'm a Nuggets fan by heart, but the Lakers themselves, like, they're starting to get healthy and they start to get their stride too. So I gotta give them credit where it's due. And they will probably not even play Denver. They're gonna probably play Memphis if they beat New Orleans in the play-in tournament as it stands right now. So Denver.
Hold on, Dan. Hold on.
I think the Lakers they have a shot to get the 5th seed, fam. I mean,
Mo, I got you, brother. I got you. Yes. Who said something about the play-in tournament? I mean, come on, play-in.
I brought the topic up. I wanted to make it more interesting. I brought the topic up. That's why.
Are we talking about the Lakers and the play? Yes, we have way more goals and aspirations to do than just make the play-in, sir. I'm gonna tell y'all what Dez is doing. He's afraid. He's very afraid right now because he knows what's coming. Because I'm gonna tell you, nobody wants to see a peaking Laker team. Nobody wants to see a LeBron James and Anthony Davis led team in the playoffs. I'm just gonna be honest. And Mo, I'm gonna ask you a question. What does this team remind you of? Does this team remind you of anything?
What, the way they're playing right now?
Yes.
It reminds me of the team that won a title a couple years ago.
Thank you. LeBron is playing that backup role. He's going to still give you 18, 20 points, but guess what goes up? His assist goes up. But guess who's being more dominant? LeBron James. We have that Vando being that Alex Caruso role. We have Rui, coming in there off the bench, giving us buckets. We have D'Angelo Russell, floor general, guy that can score. You have Austin Reeves, dirty guy. We have the right pieces. And I'm gonna tell you, Dez, that whole Jokic, he don't want to see Anthony Davis. Hey, why do you think he's resting? He's resting because he knows he's gonna have to be 100%. He's gonna have to have enough energy because AD, yes, he's gonna do that on offense, but just imagine what he's gonna do on the defensive end as well. I'm telling y'all, there's dark, scary moments in the NBA right now. I'm just letting.
Let me chime in real quick.
Go ahead, Diz.
You right on the Lakers. They rising. They getting their stride. But then you think about it. Anthony Davis cannot stay healthy. That is one of the biggest knocks on him. He cannot stay healthy. He had to score 40 points just to get a win. Like, you had to score 40 points. And Nikola Jokic, like, I'm a Denver fan, man, and you can just see he makes every teammate better. Not saying LeBron doesn't either. LeBron does the exact same thing. But when you look at Nikola Jokic, man, and just what he gives to the Nuggets, I mean, you got Aaron Gordon. I mean, we got players, Caldwell Pope, which he used to play for the Lakers. So you don't think KCP is already giving intel like, hey,
whole different system, brother. This Darvin Ham, that's Frank Vogel. Darvin Ham, Frank Vogel, hey, two different people.
But true. But I mean, Denver, we're not even focused on the Lakers because
you better.
we're not even focused on the Lakers because
Hey, let them know, Dez.
y'all down here, we up here. We already got the number 1 seed. Our bench is our biggest weakness right now, which everybody knows because the fact once you take Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon out the game, and you put in your second unit, Reggie Jackson has been a disappointment. Christian Braun has definitely taken his spot. The guy's a rookie, and the guy has hops, plays massive defense. I mean, we barely beat the Warriors last night. But the thing I like about Denver, we have a spirit and the cohesion. The Lakers are just putting pieces together with players that have those dynamics that can make up for that cohesion. But Denver's been playing with guys like Aaron Gordon. I mean, they've developed guys to the point like Carl Chunkard. I mean, number 31. I mean, he can shoot threes. We can shoot threes. We can do the pick and roll. I just feel like Nikola Jokic is taking a break right now because the fact, look, you only got 3 games left. So I mean, it's load management. Jamal Murray has to be a little more consistent, which Michael Malone has said, hey, when we lost those games and had a losing streak, we got to stop being complacent. We got to understand we're the number 1 team in the West for a reason, and we need to. It is our championship window.
Des, let me educate you one thing, my brother. And Mo knows this, especially when the early 2000s and all those Lakers, Phil Jackson. You know, we won. We was the first in the West for so long, and then Phil Jackson's like, yo, we don't care about that no more. We just all about what happens in the postseason. This Laker team, they knows what. Why do you think LeBron came back so fast? Because he smelled blood, bro. He smelled blood. He see how weak the West is. He see these teams that are falling. Golden State is like a roller coaster. And the Clippers losing Paul George, they're like a roller coaster. Phoenix Suns have no depth. They play no defense, even though they have Kevin Durant, even though they have Booker. They see Denver. Denver, like you said, your bench. One thing, the Lakers, we depend on our bench. Our bench is strong. We don't, Mo, we know our bench won us games this year because we've outscored our starting 5 at times. We play defense. That's one thing Denver don't do like us. We play defense. I believe we're actually like a top 3, top 5 defensive team since the trade. So all I'm saying is don't judge us based on before the trade deadline because we have pieces. We have a D'Angelo Russell who can get hot at any moment. But the key is Anthony Davis, and he's going to dominate, bro. Like it's funny to me. Like I'm just like, bro, it's just laughable. Like a few weeks ago, everybody like, oh, the Lakers going to be a playing team, and now we're only a 1.5 game back from number 5.
Right, that's
bro,
crazy.
I want number 6 because I want Denver because I want to show y'all. I'm gonna tell you, I kind of want Denver, but I also want Sacramento because I believe we go to Sacramento, that's gonna be a Laker environment. Yeah, you're gonna have some Kings fan, but the Laker fans are going to take over that arena. They'll just call it what it is, especially in the playoffs. We play the Clippers in the playoffs. The Lakers are going to take over there as well because that's basically our arena. But Dez, I know you're afraid. You're tiptoeing like Michael Jackson. You're doing the moonwalk.
Denver wants to smoke. I mean, we want to smoke because
do they?
This is the reason why. Because I live in Denver, man. I'm a Denver fan. This city, when it comes to sports towns and sports teams, we are so embracing of them.
Hey, Dez, I'm gonna let you know, man. Don't fall for it. Freddie trying to get you wild up, man. It's kind of like he's trying to get you out your game. He's trying to get you out your game. Be on the court. Don't let him do it. He'll try you and see what you got. See if you're gonna fold or ride it up. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it.
Give Denver their credit. You've got Jokic. Jokic will drop 25. He can give you a triple double. Jamal Murray's good for 20. You got Porter Jr. at 17 a game. I think Aaron Gordon is around 15. KCP gives you 11. Their top 5, if their regular season numbers hold up, they can be a problem. But all I'm saying is, in the playoffs, when the court is shortened, numbers tend to come down. Denver's a top offense, but they're a middle of the road defense, and they don't have depth. If all things being even, and Anthony Davis is healthy, because we always say if when we talk about health, but if he's healthy, don't be stunned if the Lakers beat Denver. It's not stunning. Think about this. As good as Jokic is, and he's having this MVP-like season, Anthony Davis over the stretch has played as good or better than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And LeBron, because of how Anthony Davis is playing, he can pick his spots. That makes him dangerous because he can pick his spots. And now you've got somebody like D'Lo who can drop 20. You got Austin Reeves that can give you 15 or 16.
Preach.
You got Rui coming off the bench. He can give you 10 or 12.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a versatility there. I know, I get it. People think it's pie in the sky, but Freddie said it. LeBron looks at the West and goes, outside of maybe Memphis, there's blood in the water. There's an opening there.
Hey, even against Memphis, you know why, bro? Because just like I know, the playoffs the game slows down. That running and gunning is going to slow down. Defense is going to get better. One thing about Memphis, this is not the same Memphis team as it was last year. Last year they had shooting. Right now they're struggling from the 3-point arc. So I'm concerned what happens in the half-court game without you having Steven Adams, and then without Brandon Clark. Like,
Brandon Clark is a great lob threat. But didn't they just get the guy that can shoot the three from the Clippers? I'm slipping his name right now.
Yeah, I believe they did, but that's not I'm talking about a defensive presence against Anthony Davis.
Well, I think Jackson Jr. is probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year. I don't think he can just hold up AD one-on-one. I don't know who could. And you're right. If they make Memphis have to beat them in a half-court game, Lakers going to win that series. Memphis doesn't really play well in the half-court set. They have to play fast. They're at their best when they're playing fast. Morant's at his best when he can play in space. That everybody knows that he's a great player. But when he's in space, unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to make it a grind where everything's about half-court execution, that might be a struggle for them because as good as Bane is, Bane's shot comes and goes. They can struggle at times. And you're right. Without Steven Adams, that big body, that rebounding, that presence, that's going to hurt them. Jackson is better playing the 4 than he is playing the 5.
Yep. And I'm going to tell you, Jamal Murray's not going to go off because, I believe I'm looking at Vando, and I'm going to tell you, the Lakers have not had a guy like him in a while. Long, lanky, defense, hustles. I'm trying to remember who was the last Vanderbilt we've had. I know we had Caruso and those guys, but I'm just talking about long and lanky. He kind of reminds you of a Lamar Odom in a way. Similar, Lamar wasn't as good as defense, but he's a guy that can handle the ball as well.
Right.
Pass the ball and all that good stuff. But I believe he'll guard like a Jamal Murray or even a Michael Porter Jr. Where those guys are not going to just like go crazy on him because he's going to lock somebody up. And you know what? Crazy that makes it so much easier for LeBron. Because LeBron don't have to chase after nobody. No, he can just say, you know what? I'm gonna just stand over here at Aaron Gordon. Because we know Aaron Gordon not gonna do too much. I mean, he'll catch a lob here and there. He might knock down a 3 or whatever, but he's not gonna be. I don't want him chasing Michael Porter Jr. around the court. I don't want him chasing Jamal Murray around the court. So I mean, Dez, can you do me one favor? I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you. I'm going to make a proposal here on the Sports Empire Network because, brother, I'm excited. Coach Dante right here does play-by-plays for the network. He does a wonderful job.
Yes, he does.
He's the best in the business at it. I want to do a Laker versus Denver in the playoff play-by-play.
Hey, Dez, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell y'all a story. And Freddie know where I'm gonna go with this.
Oh Lord,
Freddie know where I'm gonna go with this. Now, when I first got here, he asked for a play-by-play. I said, let's do it. You know what Freddie did? Hey, matter of fact, Dez, he played the same Denver Nuggets. He played the Denver Nuggets. But you know, and they were getting beat so bad, he went to sleep on the stream. I thought we couldn't wake Freddie up. We couldn't wake him up. I've been trying to get people to come do a play-by-play on. Hey, now Brett, he's very good. He'll come do a play-by-play. Freddie, I haven't seen him since do a play-by-play. He may go to the playoffs, but hey.
I'm not going to lie. Hey, I live in Texas. LA games, they be late over here, bro. They be
Okay.
late. Hey, they like 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning when they getting show. I'm
wow.
tired over here. Everybody can't be like Coach Dante. This man lives on 2 hours of sleep.
Yep, that's all I need, and I'm back up. But I want to elaborate something, bring up another topic. I know Freddie, I got Freddie point up on this one, but I want to get everybody's side on the Dallas Mavericks situation. They've been put up out of the playoffs pretty much on the loss against the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh boy, I'm ready to talk about this one.
All right, so what percentage you give the blame on? Is it Coach Kidd, Luka, Kyrie, just everybody? Freddie, I'm gonna start with you because you've been talking about it. Freddie, who gets all of this? Who gets all of this blame? Who gets all of this blame?
I'm so sick and tired of the media finding the easy route out, trying to take stabs. I mean, bruh, it's so easy to go after Kyrie Irving. It really, really is. But Kyrie Irving isn't the problem. He's not the problem. It's Luka. And everybody seems like they're afraid to say that. They're afraid to say Luka is the problem. And this isn't no stab at Luka because Luka is a wonderful player. I love Luka. If there was any young superstar I wish the Lakers could get, it would be Luka. Because I know one thing about Luka. He's going to be available. He's going to dominate. And we're going to go to the playoffs with him. Well, until this year. But Luka kind of reminds me of James Harden when he was in Houston. Chris Paul when he was in with the Clippers. He dribbles way too much. The offense that they run with him, it doesn't work in the NBA. It only worked one time. That's with LeBron. But guess what? How did it work with LeBron? He had to have LeBron James playing out of his mind. He had to have Kevin Love being a spot-up shooter. It took K Love away from his game in Minnesota. He used to be a real dominant post-up player, but he turned him into a spot-up shooter. And you had Kyrie Irving, and you had shooters around them. Luka liked to have the ball in his hand. He had the ball, and he dribbles the ball. Oh, the shot clock have like 5 seconds left on it. Here you go, make a play. That game don't work. Why do you think Jalen Brunson wasn't even interested in giving them a meeting? Because he's like, yo, I don't like that style of play. And then you bring in Kyrie Irving, and then they try to change the style of play. And that's why Luka comes out and say, I'm not having fun anymore on the court. Because you know why he's not having fun? Because he don't have the ball in his hands. He plays no defense. Kyrie don't play defense, but your best player doesn't play defense. You got rid of your best defensive players in Smith and Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie was okay being that second guy. He was okay not taking as many shots. He was okay, letting Luka do his thing. Then you have Christian Wood as your big man that plays no defense, literally none. You can get me and Mo out there in the post, and we have a better chance guarding the opposing center than he do. Let's just be honest. I'm 200 plus pounds. I'm out of shape. I'm ready to get a donut right now. Right now. And I got a better chance in guarding somebody in the post. I'm just being honest, you guys. Like, it comes a time where, yes, Luka is a great player, but he deserves some criticism. And right now, I just believe, since everything Kyrie Irving has been through, it's so easy to go after Kyrie. It really is. It's so easy for the media to attack him. But all I know is since Kyrie been in Dallas, that he's been available to play. He's actually played pretty good. Only time he's missed games because of due to injury. It's not that he's doing what he's been doing. So I'm not blaming Kyrie Irving on this. I'll blame Mark Cuban for him not analyzing this better. Because I didn't think the trade was going to work. But that's my opinion.
Des, who you got? Who's getting a lot of this power? Who you got the blame power on? Who you got the blame power on?
It's only one person to coach. And the reason why, because the coach is supposed to coach, right? So you get Luka Doncic and you make a trade for Kyrie Irving. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, they're going to the finals. They're going.
Look like we lost Dez.
Championship. I'm here. Defense wins championships. And like you guys touched on, they're not playing a lot of defense. It's a lot of, and the ball handlers too. You got to think about, besides Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, who do they have? Because every time you see the box score, they're putting up almost 40 points, almost both of them apiece, and they're still losing games. So Jason Kidd, I think, needs to get some blame, and the ownership. They need to go to the drawing board during this offseason. They have the cash flow. See if they can keep Kyrie, because Kyrie may want to jump ship and join the Lakers. I mean, so.
Please do not do that, Kyrie. We do not want you. Please. We're good with D'Angelo Russell, right, Mo?
Yeah, we're good. We're straight.
Okay. But I feel like, ownership needs to it's ownership in the coach, because the fact is, you got this big name superstar Kyrie Irving, and he has been available. He has played well. Luka Doncic, he's been a little bit more physical, and Euro ball is different than the NBA. And I know that Euro players try to bring their aspects of their game to the NBA, and it works at times, but it doesn't work right now. I mean, offense can win you games, but defense wins championships. So you want to get defense, and they just got to get bigger. They don't have no defense. So, I just feel like it's ownership in the coach.
Mo, who you got, man? Who's getting this blame pie?
I think it's across the board. One, I know when I first heard of this deal, I was like, why would you do that? It didn't make sense to me. The deal didn't make sense. You can get a name and you can get numbers, but you can't replace chemistry. I don't blame Kyrie in the sense that I didn't think it was going to work to begin with. I think Mark Cuban was desperate to try to get another star next to Luka, not thinking what he actually needed. The same way we talk about LeBron is better with shooters and defenders, guys that'll do the dirty work. Luka has his flaws, but he's better that way too. Like, think about what he did last year to Phoenix. He destroyed them. He destroyed them at home, got in Booker and Chris Paul's face. That's the kind of player. Look, we can talk about defense, but a lot of great players, let's keep it 100. A lot of great players, they're not good defenders. But we don't talk about that because they're so dominant and so impactful on offense. James Harden was never a good defender, but he was dominant and impactful. This current version of LeBron, still great on offense. He's not playing a lot of defense. And he's not the only one. KD competes defensively, but he's not a great defender. I watched the game last night. He said he wanted Shea. He said, I want Shea. He got Shea. And Shea blew by him 4 times in a row. Because he can't guard Shea. I'm just being real. This blame pie starts with Cuban. It starts with Luka, because I think here's where Luka's wrong. Once the deal's done and it's your team, it's on you to try to make it work. It's on Kyrie, because I don't think Kyrie adjusted his game enough to be compatible with what Luka does best. It's on Mark Cuban for sure, because you traded away your best defenders.
Yep.
You traded away a guy in Dinwiddie who can not just score, but he can get buckets. Like, you were good with that. And like Freddie said, if you was really going to do this right, you would have never lost Brunson. But Brunson didn't even want to meet with them. Brunson knew from the get, I'm not coming back to this. I'm not saying Luka's not great. He is. But I'm not sure what star is going to sign up to watch Luka play. I only think Luka can play if he's playing with guys that are more like role players. I don't know if he can play with another star. And I'm not saying you can't have success with that. I just don't think you can win titles with that.
Yeah.
You can't have success with that, bro. It's a new style of basketball. I mean, you see teams that have won championship, they've had another star beside them. And just ask you, every point guard Dallas have brought in, ask yourself, why have it not worked? Why have they Luka really need to be a 2 or a 3? He don't need to be a point guard. If Dallas really wants to win, he needs to be a 2 or a 3. I'm a guy that can play off the ball. There's going to be times he's going to have the ball in his hand because all stars do. But there's got to be a time where he's off the ball as well. And I don't want Kyrie Irving just to be a spot-up shooter. That's not Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is a guy that who can dance with it. He can get it in the inside. He can get the mid-range, and he can get it three. And he's more efficient than Luka. Luka is I know it's something I'm going at Luka because I really do like Luka. I love just watching his game because I want to see what fancy pass he gonna do, what crazy shot he gonna make, or whatever. And he takes bad shots. He just really do. Like these threes, he step back threes, like he just take bad shots throughout the game. And his ability to just dribbling the ball, dribbling the shot clock out, time after time after time, and setting up his teammates for failure. I just believe that they need to have a sit-down talk with Luka and say, hey, in order for us to win the championship, in order for us to be competitive, we need you to take that next step. And there's nothing wrong with taking that next step. Look, and sometimes you have to be humble. You have to get humble. James Harden had to get humble. James Harden had to leave Houston, go to Brooklyn, then go to Philadelphia to get humble. We even seen it in Brooklyn. James Harden might say, you say, you know what? They don't need me to go get 35 and a triple-double no more. They just need me to get 15 to 20 points, 10, 11 assists. They need me to facilitate. It took Russell Westbrook how many teams? He went to Houston, went to Washington, went to the Lakers, and now he went to the Clippers. It takes time. He had to be humble. And if I was the GM, if I was the coach, I would point that out to Luka and say, hey, man, you're young. If you want to win championships, we need you to kind of get the others involved. And not just part of shooting, get them involved in the offense more.
I agree, but I also think that this offseason is going to be so big for the Mavs because I think that roster, let's all agree Luka's not going anywhere. Yep. So that roster has got to be compatible to him. Even if you want him to adjust his game, which I agree with, it's got to be compatible. And he might not realize this. He needs a big, and I mean a legit big. I know we talked about they had JaVale McGee. They're not going to use JaVale McGee. They really haven't. But he needs a big that can be a rim runner, a shot blocker, and somebody can pull down 10 to 12 boards. He needs that.
That's crazy. That's JaVale McGee. That's crazy.
Sure. No doubt. No doubt. But he needs that. And I also think he needs wings that can get out and attack people. At the end of the day, even if he competes harder on defense, Luka's never going to be a great defender. You've got to have wings that can cover your star or hide your star the way a lot of teams do. Mm-hmm. I will ask you guys this question. Is Kyrie going to be a Maverick next year? Because I don't think so.
I don't think he will.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be completely honest with you, Mo. And I hate to say this. I think Kyrie might be out the league. Let me say that again. I think Kyrie Irving might be out the league. And the reason why I say that is because even right now, he's turning into be the scapegoat in Dallas. When teams start to get fed up with you, we see what would happen. We look at Carmelo Anthony. And I don't know why he's not in the league. You can't tell me that there's 15 men on each team that's better than Carmelo Anthony at this point in his career. We've seen him last year have one of his best seasons off the bench. I'm talking about as a role player. And he played one of his best seasons of playing on the defensive end. You can't tell me that Carmelo Anthony's not needed. Dwight Howard. I understand what he's doing overseas. He won't play. He can't play that style of basketball over here, and he knows that. But you talking about a big body, a guy that can play defense, rebound, catch lobs. You can tell me you can't. I mean, when Clint Capella was out for the Hawks, you can't use a Dwight Howard. Golden State, you can't use a Dwight Howard. I mean, there's things like that. I mean, Kyrie Irving has brought a bad name around the league. And it started towards the end of Cleveland, in the Boston era, and Brooklyn was just took it to a whole nother level. I just don't know any other team that's going to really want to take a risk on giving him a max contract. Um,
Agree
like
100%.
I think the Lakers was interested, but when they saw that what they was able to get throughout the trade, I think that kind of convinced LeBron. So you know what, we got D'Lo who's younger, we got a younger team, but like I don't know who's going to really want to invest in a guy that might not be available. I just don't know who.
Somebody will want him, but I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to give him a max contract.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get one of those maybe 2-year that's really a 1-year deal to prove himself contracts because of the things that Freddie just said. He's not going to get a max contract from anybody.
And let's just be honest, Kyrie Irving, the player, deserves all the money that he can get because he's a baller. He is a baller.
Yep.
It's just the off the court stuff that kind of kills him.
Yeah. So we gonna get into one last thing on the NBA because I do got an NFL topic, and then I want to get to Freddie about coach of the year, Maurice. Who you got as a coach of the year? Who you got as your coach of the year?
I got Mike Brown. I think Mike Brown, what he's done for Sacramento, I'm gonna go with Mike Brown. There's some other worthy candidates, but I'm gonna go with Mike Brown. I think about the drought that Sacramento has had. We're talking about since 06, I think.
Yeah,
since they were last in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's turned that team around. Now, granted, they still have their flaws, but if you've watched the Kings, and I've watched a lot of their games, those guys compete, and they don't lack for confidence at all. Like, I don't care who they're playing, they go at you. They come in there, they've got swagger, they've got attitude. If you watch De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis play, the chemistry those two have, they're a problem on offense. So I'm going to give it to Mike Brown.
All right, Des, who you got coach of the year?
I'm a Nuggets.
Oh, don't you dare tell me you better say Mike Malone. I do not want to hear this.
That's why his camera went out.
Yeah.
No, not Mike Malone.
I didn't even say today. I think we knew what the answer was going to be, Freddie. So Des, come back. Who your coach of the year?
You know, I'm gonna tell you who it is, but I think it's crazy that people is putting the head coach of Boston in that conversation. And it's no disrespect to him. It's really not. But that team is loaded. Like, they're expected to be where they're at. Like, I expect Boston to be a top 3 team in the East. So I just don't see how you could put him in that conversation. That's just my opinion. But I would have to go Mike Brown as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Sacramento has been irrelevant since the Lakers knocked them out in the Western Conference Finals years ago, like what, 20-something years ago?
Yeah, that was like 2001. Now, like 2001, I believe.
Yeah, and we've seen them.
Webb and company.
Yeah, we've seen them get better for the last couple of years, but still have not been able to get over that hump. And we've been waiting to see this De'Aaron Fox since he's been in Sacramento. We've seen glimpses, but we haven't seen it when it matters. And we're going to finally see De'Aaron Fox when it matters. So you have to go Mike Brown. They don't play defense, but he got them playing offense. I mean, they have an elite offense. And Des, don't you come up here and say no Mike Malone. Don't you say nothing that crazy. Woo!
Yeah. Go ahead, Des.
I mean, Mike Malone, man. I mean, he's changed Denver's culture, man. And I mean, they're number 1 in the West. I mean, Nikola Jokic, and we won't get an MVP debate, but I feel like he should win the MVP. I mean, just what he's done in the culture and just changing the team. I mean, he's been on the hot seat a couple of times here because the fact, like, you know, sitting down guys for no apparent reason, you know, and they losing games. And not believing in young guys a lot. But I feel like Mike Malone, because what he's done with Denver and with Nikola Jokic and Aaron Gordon, and now you got Christian Braun and developing of him. And then Peyton Watson, the guy from UCLA, rookie, great defensive guy. And you got to tip the GM, Calvin Booth. I think he should go GM for the year too because, I mean, first year guy, but he's done great. He's done great.
No.
Des, let me ask you a quick question. Your team's the number 1 seed. Joker's got a legit shot to win his 3rd MVP in a row. What happens to Mike Malone if you guys have a short playoff? Because for all the hype, anything less than a trip to at least the conference finals, what happens to Mike Malone?
That's a good question. I think that that's a good question. I think here in Denver, I think we all talked about it when we had our slump of losing those games. We question the coach, like, if we come up short, I feel like it's going to be a good meeting where ownership may have to look and say, hey, we've come up short in the past couple of years. I mean, I think this year is our year because you think about when Denver lost to the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals when it was the bubble. I don't think Denver forgot about that. And then you got two LeBron. He just got back. He ain't gonna be healthy, man. I'm just saying. So, and the reason why I say
look pretty healthy than me.
That sounds like wishful thinking, Des.
No. It's true, but I think if we come up short, there will be a meeting with ownership and Mike Malone and say, "Hey, are you the right guy?" But I feel like everybody's bought into the system, and this is the year. It's a winner now situation for Denver. The Lakers, I just feel like I said, I'm not trying to get off topic, but I just feel like the Lakers, if you don't have a healthy LeBron and you don't have a healthy Anthony Davis, there's no shot. I'm just saying.
Hey, Des, I'm
gonna
tell you this.
Des, fight back, Des.
I see LeBron dunking. He's healthy. And Anthony Davis, he's shown y'all he don't care. I'm gonna tell y'all, man, the narrative for Anthony Davis needs to change. Right now, the other day, I almost cried. I started praying. AD went down with that sprained ankle. I said,
yeah.
My season's over. I said, oh.
That's what I was thinking.
But I commend him. Me and Mo seen the times that happens, AD don't go get back in that game. He dragged. He dragged 1 foot and dominated. And then he turned around and they asked him the press conference to report like this. So what about Houston? He said, well, what do you mean? He said, Houston. He said, am I playing? He said, hell yeah, I'm playing. Like Anthony Davis, right? He knows what's at stake. Because he not just for this year, he's trying to remain a Laker down the line. He knows what's at stake. So I'm not talking about health. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's dealing with something. If you can play, he's going to play. But of course, if Nikola Jokic break a leg, brother, we know that they're done. I mean, if LeBron breaks a leg, he's done. We know that. But they're going to be they're all going to be dealing with something. So I know you tap dance. I know you're kind of scared. But hey, your time is coming, and we gonna meet again. We gonna talk again. But Coach, I gotta ask a question.
Yes,
I know
sir.
you want to get to NFL, but who do because I'm looking at 2 franchises that have I'm looking at Dallas and I'm looking at the Nuggets. I've seen 2 franchises that have the last couple of years got, Dallas on the Western Conference Finals. Last year, we've seen these teams, take strides. We've seen the Nuggets in the Western Conference Final a few years ago. What superstar, and Luka or Jokic, request a trade out of their franchises first?
Luka. I think Luka request a trade first. Starting like after this year, if this continues to next year, I can see him wanting out. I can see him definitely wanting out. So I think not this year. I think depending on what the offseason moves is, what they do in the offseason, that's going to be key. Whether they keep Kyrie Irving or not, or what if they keep Christian Wood. I think they didn't want to give Christian Wood a contract this year. Also losing Jalen Brunson hurt as well, which we've been know he was going to be gone because his father is also the assistant coach over there with New York. So that prompted his way to go to New York immediately. So I think this is a big offseason for Dallas that they got to figure out some things. So like I don't look at what you got in the trade. I look at what you lost in the trade. They lost Finney Smith and they lost Dinwiddie. I look at what Utah lost when they got Gobert. They lost Jared Vanderbilt. Who's a great defender, And they lost. I'm not too sold on Minnesota. I don't think Minnesota's a very good team. I don't really think.
Bro, Vanderbilt was the steal of that trade.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He's one of my
worst trade
yeah.
this season.
Yeah, I don't think Minnesota. I still don't think Minnesota's very good.
4 number 1 picks for Gobert.
Yes.
Worst trade this season. I'm sorry. You trade 4 number 1 picks for somebody that's that guy. Gobert's never been that guy. At best, he's the guy next to the guy. Right.
Yep.
Right. But he blocks shots, and people recognize he's a good rim protector. But every postseason, every team spreads Utah out, and they eat him alive. He is a liability. He's overrated.
Hey, Mo.
4 number 1s?
Hey, Mo, that's a trade that you call the Lakers say, is Anthony Davis available? And you say, that's the start. 4 number 1s. That's just the start. And then we're going to start talking about Donovan Mitchell. We're going to start talking about, but back to
that would have made better sense.
But back to my original question. I believe after not this summer, but next summer, I believe both of them request a trade. And Dez, you're about to like what I'm about to say. I believe Denver trades for Luka to team up with Jokic that make him happy. I believe Luka is going to be what Powell was to Kobe when he requested, when we got Powell. Hey, and I'm going to tell you, this is going to be the most deadliest. It would be the most slowest duo we've ever seen, but it'd be deadliest.
That would be scary. If that actually went down, that would be scary. They neither one of them can jump over a phone book, but that's scary.
Yeah.
Hey, they both talked about it though if you guys noticed during the All-Star break, who they sitting right next to each other. They sitting right next to each other. They friends. They played with each other overseas. And I mean, they definitely talked about it. They had an interview, I think, about a year ago, and they both talked about it, saying, it'd be nice to play with each other. But I say Luka to Denver, but see, like Denver, we have assets, but like we don't have a lot to give. We don't really have a lot to give.
Coach,
so probably
one quick question. I'm sorry to
interrupt. Go ahead.
I think there's another team that's going to have some problems that might make some changes. I think Atlanta's going to make some wholesale changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I pointed that out earlier. I mean, you blame all that crap on the head coach, Nate McMillan. You got Quinn Snyder, who did turn around.
Trae Young's a baby, coach. Trae Young he's one of those young guys.
No, I'm just saying the same problems, the same crap is happening.
The problem is Trae Young.
Well, I'm not saying who to blame is on.
I am, coach. It's Trae Young.
You can say who to blame on, but the same crap still happening in Atlanta that was happening in Nate McMillan. So otherwise, you should have went on and ride it out with Nate McMillan.
It's the same problem in Dallas, bro. Trae wants the ball.
That roster, it's flawed because of how you built it and how you use or don't use the players. Like, I get why you got DeJounte Murray, because he can defend at a high level and he can give you 20. It doesn't help Trae because Trae doesn't defend at all, and he's ball dominant. Not to mention, look at John Collins. Mm-hmm. John Collins is falling off the. He's just disappeared because he's non-existent.
He's been out for 2 years. He's been out. He's frustrated.
He should be. His minutes are down. He gets like 8 shots a game. Like they don't want him or he don't want, or both. But I'm not saying John Collins is a superstar, but put him somewhere where he's used and he'll be impactful and he'll be productive. They're mishandling a lot of young talent in Atlanta.
Sure is.
Now, I will say this, like Freddie said, Trae Young is an issue of the team. I mean, he was a part of the reason why Coach Nate McMillan got fired. He was a part of the reason why him and John Collins got into an altercation, and John Collins called him out. He didn't like it. He came in the next game passing the ball on purpose and costing the team. So he is a part of a locker room count. I will say that, and he takes too many terrible shots. He takes too many inefficient shots, and that slows their offense down. It stops their offense a lot. They don't have the defense outside of Murray. Clint Capella has not worked out in Atlanta. He's been on and off the court. You don't know when he's going to play. It's a lot of issues outside of Coach Nate McMillan.
Hey, Coach, I have a trade proposal, and I believe this trade would help both teams.
Oh my God! Don't.
If I was the Hawks, I would trade him to LA, not to the Lakers. To the Clippers. I would trade Paul George, some draft picks if you have any, You'll probably have to get rid of Terrence Mann, get Trae Young. I believe DeJounte Murray and PG and the shooting that they have around them could be a respectful team. I'm not saying it's going to be a team to win the championship, but it's a respectful team in the East. And then I believe Trae Young and Kawhi Leonard, you still got Zubac, you still have the other pieces. I believe that would elevate them as well in the West. What do you guys think about that trade proposal?
Des, what you got on?
That's a good trade, actually. I think a team that definitely needs help, needs a veteran. And I think they got the picks for it, too. You got to think about Houston. Houston has fallen off the map. I mean, it's not even funny. I mean,
don't talk about Houston. Coach Dante will get mad. You see his face boiling right now.
Hey, I'm good. I already know we're a young team.
That's a college team. That's a college team. They're young.
They're young, but they need a veteran presence, man.
We got a bunch of babies playing grown men out there. That's
true. And I think they need a veteran presence. And but like you said, Fred, I agree with that trade because you look what the Clippers did. They got Bones from Denver and got rid of Reggie Jackson. And Reggie Jackson's actually fallen off since he's got here to Denver. And Bones, I mean, he hasn't really been in the rotation as much. And they need a ball handler that can actually pass the ball, which I feel that Trae Young can do, but he can shoot the 3 too if you need the offense because Kawhi Leonard is just falling off. He is not the same Kawhi Leonard that you saw in the Spurs. He's just falling off.
Hold on now. Des. Kawhi problem is availability. But when he's on the court, he's a problem, brother. I've seen him. I think I was watching him last week. He was just going off. Like, Kawhi is still a problem, bro.
But you got to think about the future, though.
Now, defense, he have lost a step in the defense. I will say that. But when it's talking about getting buckets, nah, man, I can't do that. Can't do that. Not on Kawhi. Not on Kawhi. Don't make me defend a Clipper. The only thing I like with the Clippers because this Friday I'm gonna see a clip on my edge up. I gotta get that Easter cut on this Friday. That's the only thing.
Hey, I will tell you that. I will tell you before we move on to Aaron Rod, his favorite player, Freddie's favorite player. Yes, each time you got a chance to stick it to Freddie, go ahead and do it each time you get your chance.
I got you. Hey,
you only get once in a lifetime to do it. You take
playoffs. Hey, the play-in playoff thing with the stream, I'm down to do a play-by-play with you, bro. Freddie. Okay. I'm down, man. If the
I'm saying play-in, playoffs.
No, you gotta get in the play-in first. You in the play-in right now.
Oh, matter of fact, just to bring some clarity to this topic, if the Lakers beat Utah, which more than likely we're going to, we clinch a spot in the play-in. So we're going to at least going there. But like AD said, we're getting greedy.
Hey, but Dallas, one thing about Dallas, I'll say this before we go to the next topic. Dallas, even though they're out right now, we can't put some blame on everybody in Dallas right now. Look at OKC, their next 3 opponents. They got the Warriors, the Jazz, and then they got the Grizzlies. If they don't win those games and Dallas wins, Dallas doesn't play till the 5th of April. But if OKC goes on a losing streak or goes 1-2, I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas squeaks in, but they don't play till the 5th of April. So I just feel there may be a chance for Dallas. There may be a chance.
I think OKC would be good with losing. They're built for the future, not for now.
Mm-hmm. Hey, yeah. Kyle, just like I keep telling you, you for some reason you're not listening. You got to listen before you can speak, young brother. You can't judge this Laker team before the trade deadline. Because since we've been there, I read something the other day that we have the same amount of wins since the trade deadline. I think since just like Boston. As a team that people say is a championship caliber team. Just dropping the nuggets, not saying it, just dropping nuggets. That's all. But coach, let's transition to the next topic because I'm interested in that one.
We got Freddie's favorite player. You already know who he is. Aaron Rodgers. We already know.
I know why you saying boo, because you scared. I know why you saying boo.
Interesting thing that I was hearing yesterday. Now, I'm going to assume that Aaron Rodgers, he will be a Jet. We just don't know when they're going to make the deal. They're just figuring out the compensation for it. So if you add Aaron Rodgers to the Jets, if you add him to the Jets, you got Gary Wilson, Brees Hall coming back from injury, this ACL injury. You got a very good defense. You got a great defense at that. Some dogs on the defensive side. Freddie, can the New York Jets dethrone the Josh Allen Buffalo Bills for the division, and how far you think they can get into the playoffs if
Coach Dante,
Aaron Rodgers gets there?
First off, just like Stephen A. Smith say, he's a bad, bad, bad man in Aaron Rodgers. And you know what? You kind of downgraded him, in my opinion, because I say they're equal with the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's if the Chiefs go out and get them a number one receiver, because that's what they're missing right now. But if the Chiefs don't get them that number one receiver, it's the Jets' year to win the championship this upcoming season. And I'm gonna tell you why. There's a reason why New York won a quarter. They're not interested in the Lamar Jackson, because they want the most accurate passer of the football. We have not seen nobody as accurate as Aaron Rodgers. Let's just be honest. Even Patrick Mahomes, and I say Patrick Mahomes number one is the best quarterback in today's game, but he's not as accurate as Aaron Rodgers in throwing the football. And the only concern the Jets I have with the Jets is their O-line. I know they've been trading for draft picks and stuff, and they're going to hopefully they address that in the draft. But that's the only thing that kind of concerns me about the Jets is that offensive line. They have the skill weapons. I believe they're gonna get OBJ. They brought in guys that he have chemistry with. They brought Lazard in. You're gonna have Mercedes Lewis. You're gonna have guys, Randall Cobb, that he's accustomed to. You're gonna have a running game. Hey, I'm just saying, even though I like what the Broncos have done to upgrade their offensive line this offseason, because I believe they've done a much better job. And I'm tired of the media blaming everything on Russ. Everything was not on Russ. You got to protect Russ. And then two, the way that the coaching was using Russell Wilson that's not how you use Russell Wilson. He's not a pocket quarterback. He's a guy that uses legs and make it throw off. He can make passes on the run. That's Russell Wilson. And then two, who's he throwing the football to? I understand you got Jerry Jeudy. That's about it. But who's he throwing the football to? I'm just getting tired of people throwing shade at that brother. Like, put the pieces around Russell Wilson and you'll see use him right, and you'll see Russell Wilson be Russell Wilson. But even that, he's no Aaron Rodgers, and he should have learned that in the NFC, that he is not no Aaron Rodgers, because he's a bad man. He make things happen, Dez, and you know it, brother. He make things happen. He haven't lately, because Green Bay has let him down. And you know what? I'm so sick and tired of people talking about Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay the last couple of years. I understand he might have had 3 or 3 bad runs, but let's not forget what the Green Bay did to Aaron Rodgers before that by putting an Akemic defense around him, not giving him weapons. I mean, hey, that organization is a hot mess. Make me hot on. I just left church yesterday, making me mad on a Monday. Man, please.
Hey, Dez, I told you, each time you got Freddie on the ropes, you gotta stick it to
him. I got you, man. Hey, I gotta say something. I like your aspirations for the Jets, man. I really do. I appreciate it. But let's be real.
Hold on. No. I don't have no inspiration for no Jets. I'm a Giants fan, sir. Giants fan. G-Man. The real team in New York. Let's get that straight.
All right. They're a good team too. But the Jets, like, you get Aaron Rodgers, it does not make you – it makes you a contender, but it does not make you an automatic Super Bowl contender, at best. Probably a playoff team. You got to think about it. They got the weapons. They're getting Lazard, and Aaron Rodgers is taking a while because of the compensation. The wide receiver position for New York, they haven't got Odell Beckham yet. I mean, I don't know who they're really going to use. And you think about it, Nathaniel Hackett's system, it works for Aaron Rodgers because he's a pocket passer. He can run around the pocket and make back shoulder throws and everything else like that. But he's getting old, man. The guy is getting hurt, bruised. dude only has probably good 2 or 3 years left, I think, in the NFL. And I'm a Bronco fan, so I feel like with Sean Payton, he's got this ship running right. Russ understands he's not the alpha. He's already got rid of the office. Javonte Williams, he's still coming back from injury. We got P. Ryan from Cincinnati, which I think is amazing pickup because you got P. Ryan and then you got the wide receiver room. We do have one of the more expensive wide receiver rooms, and we don't have a big name besides Jerry Jeudy. But with Sean Payton and with the draft picks that we have, he can turn somebody into something, you know. So I just feel like the Jets, though, they trying to get that superstar and get that splash play like Dallas did with the Mavericks. And I'm not saying it's not going to work out instantly. It's going to probably take 2 years to work out because that's a new team, new system, new city, new players that you have to get used to. The only player that you're used to is Alan Lazar. That's the only player you're used to. So I just feel like the Jets, we got to pump the brakes on them.
They're getting around the Cobb too, so they're familiar with him as well.
True. So those are the only 2 players, so they could probably teach the other guys on the Jets. But I just feel
but it won't take long, brother. He just like LeBron. It didn't take we see LeBron playing a few games, these new guys, and they're getting it together. Just saying.
Oh, all right. Before I go to Maurice, I got a question for you, Freddie. Did you take your medicine this morning?
No, I did not. No, I did not.
I'm assuming you didn't. Maurice, go ahead.
Aaron Rodgers to the Jets can work, but my main concern is what something Freddie brought up is that O-line was horrible. You got to shore that O-line up because if the O-line isn't shored up, it won't matter what your skill positions are. Your quarterback gonna be on his back. That's just a fact. They have to shore up that offensive line, which is something, you know, if you transition to what Sean Payton's doing in Denver, look at who he drafted, look at who he picked up. He's putting together an offensive line, not for pass protection, though. He's putting the offensive line together to develop a power running game. Russell Wilson's best friend is a strong run game, so then he can run that play action. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers, the great thing about Aaron Rodgers, he can extend plays with his legs as well. He also can dissect defenses as well as anybody. But they need to have that offensive line shored up. If the offensive line is solid, the Jets are going to be a problem.
A huge problem, Dez. It's
going to be a problem, man.
Hey, Dez, I'm going to tell you this. It might, you know what? The Sports Empire Network will pay for your therapy, brother. Denver sports is going to be a bad year for you this year. Just going to let you know. We will send you to therapy. We'll send you to counseling. We'll send you to wherever you need to go. Because I'm going to feel for you, my brother. You're going to be hurt. I'm feel for you, though.
Hey, we're going to be all right, man. We got the Nuggets on the rise. Broncos, like I said, but we hit on the head, though. Like, we got way better offensive line than the Jets.
Hey, Dez, you live in Denver, right?
Yes, I live in Denver, born and raised for 20 years.
I heard. Okay, we good then. I heard it's legal out there. Am I right?
Yes, sir. It is.
Okay, good. We been hey, good, because you might need it too.
I want to ask Dez a personal question. So last year you did get Nathaniel Hackett from last year. I saw the coaching played a big part, terrible part immediately. The moment that he decided to kick that field goal against Seattle, which was ridiculous, that you guys were moving the ball against Seattle. They couldn't stop you. But the moment he decided to kick that field goal, I say, he's not ready to be a head coach. And it also showed if you had to hire another coach to come in to help you with how to manage time and how to manage a damn timeout, that's really bad. If you have to have another coach to come in there and do that. What went wrong for the Denver Broncos? What went wrong for the Denver Broncos last year?
Man, a lot of things. I say the 2 biggest things: offense with Nathaniel Hackett's system. When he got fired, news broke out, and players and news outlets here were like, "Well, what was the issue?" He was so free. Every time after that Seattle game, he told like Russ, "Oh, this didn't work. Let's do this. Let's do that." he needs to find his system. Now, with Aaron Rodgers and him, you reuniting, you think that it will work. I just think the Jets, it won't work. But with Denver, the offense wasn't working. I mean, the defense, we would shut people down. We would shut down the pass and the run. It would just go, when it comes to offense, it would just stutter. And then when we lost Javonte Williams, that was huge because we really didn't have an identity as a run game. And Russ was just, he had a lot on his shoulders. I mean, he was making signals at the line of scrimmage where guys even know what it was, that the signals. I mean, other teams were picking up on Russ's signals because he was using Seattle signals instead of Denver Broncos signals. And then the third thing, I got to add the coaching. The offensive line coach that we had was putting sticky notes on offensive linemen's lockers and saying what they did bad instead of going to them. The defensive coordinator was great, which I thought we should have kept. But, you know, he just was a fan of Nathaniel. That's his best friend. So I think it was just the coaching because it was friends of friends and friends and not what's on your resume. I can trust this guy. What Sean Payton's resume with the coaches that we have now, they have over 10 Super Bowls combined, you know, with that experience with former players. So I feel with that experience now and the pedigree, I feel like Denver is on the right track. I just feel now the biggest thing is we're not trading Jerry Jeudy. I feel like we can use him. It's that fifth-year option we have to know that we have to pick up. But I just feel like Denver's coaching, the offensive line, and just the offense itself last year did not have an identity.
You almost had a chance to have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. That's where you messed up at. Yes, you brought Nathaniel Hackett down there, but if you would have had Aaron Rodgers, Denver would have made some noises. And hey, I understand everybody can't read those type of offenses. Everybody not smart like Rodgers. It worked in Green Bay with him. It worked in
smart.
Not like Rodgers though. I would take Rodgers over Russ any day. Any day of the week, any minute, second, hour, whatever. There's nothing that Russ do better than Aaron Rodgers.
True, but I mean, Russ puts in. I mean, they both put the time in. They both have the strong work ethic. I mean, I went to the training camps this past year, and the way just seemed so free. But this year, I mean, Sean Payton even said it. Less media. You know, it's a less media presence here. I mean, even when we got Mike McGlinchey and all these new acquisitions in free agency, there wasn't even a press conference for any of them. Last year was a whole press conference for every single player that came through here, every single coach. So the culture has definitely changed for sure. But like I said, Aaron Rodgers, he's a different dude. He is that dude. But if he can stay healthy, that's the biggest question.
He's been healthy for the last couple of years. What are we talking about?
Hey, he's missed some games.
When?
When
he played all last year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's hey, it's hard being on the you really, I'm telling you, he gonna get you one. He may get you one day, man. You can't let him do it. You can't let him do it. He may get you one. He may get you one day, man.
But the Jets do play the Broncos this year, and I think it's here in Denver. So it'll be nice to see. I'm down to see that
blowout.
By at least two touchdowns.
Ain't no blowout.
By at least 2 touchdowns.
He might not even get one.
Mo, who's your football team?
Niners.
So go ahead, Mo. What you think about the Javon Hargraves signing, getting him from the Philadelphia Eagles, and your thoughts on the season this year?
For the Eagles or for us? I mean, it's big. It's big for us because it's just going to make things easier for Bosa to work on the outside. What Hargrave does, he disrupts the middle of the defense or offense. So it's big for us. The thing about the Niners is this is a team that's been built to win for the last 3-4 years. Their problem is one position, quarterback. Got to have a quarterback. Jimmy G's moved on, and Purdy played well, but with the injury that he's had, I don't think he's going to start the regular season. I just don't think so. So now you're back to the rookie that you gave up everything for, and I don't know if he's ready yet. I think that's why they went and brought in Sam Darnold, because they don't know if he's ready yet either. This really comes down to the Niners. If they were set at quarterback, the funny thing is they're scary and they're not set at quarterback because of the way Shanahan calls plays. He can play call you into a win with different sets, but at some point when you play against the best of the best, you're going to need a quarterback that can throw you a win, that can bring you back from behind. And I don't think that guy is currently on the roster.
Yep. So, how do you feel in training camp? Should it be just say if Brock Purdy is available in training camp and you have Trey Lance coming off this big old injury, that should be ready? Should it be a quarterback competition, or who do you feel, in your opinion, that should have the quarterback job, or do you feel it should be a quarterback competition?
Even though Purdy played well, and shout out to him because he really stepped up. You invested so much in getting Trey Lance, you've got to make it a quarterback competition. If you gave up all those picks for a guy that you don't plan on letting even compete for the job, shame on you. They've got to make it a competition. And look, who's to say that Trey Lance won't bounce back and earn that spot?
Got you. So, last thing before we go ahead and end it on a good note, I want to I say I don't know if you guys know I don't know if you guys high on baseball, but I'm just gonna put out my scores out there as of right now, and then I'm gonna get into. I'm gonna ask you guys for your predictions of the national championship game tonight. So I'm just gonna go on and get into my MLB scores. I'm not gonna talk too much about it because MLB. I'm gonna wait for about a month or two for the season really kicks out. It's only we only 4 games in the year, so we got the Phillies getting swept by the Rangers, getting swept in the 3-game series by the Rangers. Key, no, that don't look good for you, Key. Phillies did get swept. They got to play the Yankees today. I will be a nice person and say good luck. Good luck over there in the Bronx. You got the Detroit Tigers beating the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, beating the Tampa Bay Rays 5-1. We played my Houston Astros, play the Tigers today. You got Kyle, the Boston Red Sox beat the Orioles after coming back from a walk-off win. They beat the Orioles 9-5. They beat the Orioles in the series. New York Yankees shut out the San Francisco Giants 6-0. They shut them out today. They shut them out yesterday. The New York Mets beating the Florida Marlins, beating the Miami Marlins 5-1. They will play the Brewers today. The Cincinnati Reds had beat the Pittsburgh Pirates 3-1 yesterday. The White Sox beat my Houston Astros, the World Series champs, 6-3. Right there, good win by the White Sox. Good pitching by Clevenger. Minnesota Twins sweep the Kansas City Royals. Kansas City Royals a bad baseball team. They're going to be one of the worst MLB baseball teams in the league. 7-4. The Toronto Blue Jays fall to the St. Louis Cardinals. Milwaukee Brewers beat the Cubs 9-5. The Los Angeles Angels, they beat the Oakland Athletics. Again, Oakland Athletics, one of the worst baseball teams in the league, 6-0 shutout. Arizona Diamondbacks beat the Los Angeles Dodgers. Freddie, where you at up on that one? Jonathan, where you at? The Dodgers got beat 2-1 against the Diamondbacks. Seattle Mariners lost to the Cleveland Guardians. And also to cap off baseball, you got the baseball scores. You got the Padres beating the Colorado Rockies 3-1. Don't look good for Denver, but hey, don't look good for Denver right there. That's one team that ain't really good from Denver right there. But other than that, so we get to look so again, predictions for tonight, man. National championship. We saw the ladies. Congratulations to the LSU Tigers. Yeah, that's all they got. At least they got a nice ballpark. I can agree with you on that, Kyle. They got a hell of a good ball.
Right. They got a nice ball.
Yeah, they got a great ballpark. Yeah, Kansas City Royals got a beautiful ballpark. The water, you got the fountain in center field out there. Looks beautiful out there. So predictions. Mo, we're gonna start with you. Final thoughts. Who do you got? San Diego State, UConn. Who you rolling the dice with tonight?
I got UConn. We've already discussed this. I just think they're the better team, the more poised team, the bigger team. I'm hoping as a fan for a great game, but I'm with you, Coach. This could get ugly. I got UConn.
Des, who you rolling the dice with tonight? Who you got?
I'm going with UConn, man. I gotta agree with the guys, man, because like you said, man, we talked about it earlier, the bigs, man, and physicality. And if you can't show me be physical, it's a national championship game, you got nothing to lose. And both teams have nothing to lose, but UConn, they just hungry, man. They hungry. And even their guards said it. I mean, the Big East is physical, and we always play physical. So, you know, they ain't gonna back down from a challenge. So I go for UConn for this one.
Yeah, we all can agree upon that one. I got UConn. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and like I said, it's not underestimating. It's not underestimate San Diego State. We just believe that UConn is the better team. And again, if you're not gonna slow down Sunoco and that big guy, in the big guy, I think it's gonna turn ugly really, really fast. Just how that second quarter turned ugly for Iowa really, really fast when they start shooting the lights out. They can't stop them on the boards, and you're gonna tell about the. I'm gonna tell by the first quarter if this game will be close. But other than that, I think it's gonna be a beat. It may be a beat turned into a beat down if they get off to a great start, and if they can't stop Sonogo and that big man, it may turn into an ugly national title game tonight. So we all taking UConn, but I'm gonna probably take them in a large amount and probably a beat down, pretty much a beat down tonight. I'm gonna take them pretty much in the beat down. So. Other than that, man, appreciate y'all for coming through. Mo, tell the people they can follow you at.
Right here, Sports Empire Network, home.
Yes, sir. Des, tell people where they can follow you
at. It's been a pleasure. You guys can follow me on Facebook, Desmond Lawrence. My profile picture with a black shirt. My Instagram is Desmond2015-234. And then my Instagram is Desi, all lowercase DESI 2015-234. I just want to give a big shout out to you guys. This is an amazing opportunity. I love you guys, and I love this show. I love the fans. And I definitely want to give a shout out to IFL football, which is like the indoor football league. I got some friends, Shaq Carrington out there, Quan Neal. There's others. There's teams like in Green Bay. There's teams in Vegas. The Northern Arizona Wranglers. They won yesterday, and they're champions. You have the Arizona Rattlers, and then the Tucson Sugar Skulls with Coach Chen. I actually tried out with one of them with this team this summer. It's his season debut as a coach. So they're playing the San Diego Strike Force in San Diego, which Marshawn Lynch's brother actually plays on. So it'd be definitely just a shout out to them.
Yeah, definitely, man. Honored to have you a part of the family, and I think it'll be cool for you and Cool McCain. He's a Denver Nuggets fan to have a show, a Denver Nuggets podcast. I think that would be cool for you two guys to work with each other to talk about some Denver Nuggets basketball. But other than that, man, I don't need no introduction for me. Y'all can find me everywhere. I'm the play-by-play guy. I'm the play-by-play guy over here. Shout out to Maurice. Des, they was in the chat. Maurice especially was in the chat watching the game, going every aspect of the game. I do play-by-plays over here, whether if it's baseball, national championships, women's WNBA basketball. I love it all. Anything dealing with basketball or NFL, I do it all. No introduction for me. Y'all can also follow me on Coach Dante on YouTube. Right there, Coach Dante 31 on Instagram and Coach Dante 31 on Twitter. And shout out to the whole family, Empire Sports Network family, man. Yep. So as for Coach Maurice, and we got Des, we will see you guys tomorrow.
Peace.
Peace.